What's up, everybody? Hello. Welcome back. It is 8 o'clock. Back on Tuesday because we broadcast on Wednesday last week.
Because it was Halloween.
And now Halloween is over, and the haunt season is over, which is really sad. I, as your host, normally, well, always, I guess. Not normally.
Who else does it?
Well, somebody could guest host the show, I guess. I'm Johnny Bronto, your host, aka the Haunt Ginger, and with me, as always, I have the tricycle riding, $300 sign wielding, collage making and including me, Melissa Lukak.
Hi, guys.
So we've got this episode, and we got one bonus one on Friday. This could be a special episode, which is going to be the drunk edition. So hopefully you guys can hear us. Hello, Tom Murphy. It is good to see
Tom.
you. We're just going to start name dropping. That's what we have to think of between now and next week, is we have to think of a drinking game. And I stopped using the word solid because that was going to be my drinking game. Every time I use the word solid, you have to. Every time I do this,
it's solid. Yeah, every time you do this, solid and
this
are your go-to.
I've got
moves.
hand gestures now. If not, I will handcuff.
That's like your catchphrase. Solid and this.
I will like tape my hands to my legs.
Yeah.
So I don't do this next.
I like that. That's cool.
Oh, I'm just trying to.
Because I do it too now.
Yeah, now you do it. Let's do it together. Synchronized. Ready? That's a little weird.
That is weird.
That's really weird. Actually, let's go ahead and edit that out. All right, so welcome, guys. Hello, everybody watching on Facebook Live. We're actually simul-broadcasting on Facebook Live now.
Watching 3 different places.
I know. We've got the YouTube stream up. We've got the actual broadcast stream up, and we have the Facebook Live up. So maybe we'll start doing this more. Maybe we'll do this next year.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got multiple streams going here. Hopefully, you guys can hear us. If you can confirm somebody that you can hear us, that would be great.
We don't want what happened last time.
No, that was not last time. That was the time before last time.
Second to last time.
We fixed that time.
It did happen once.
So yeah. So somebody wants to jump in, you can. All right, cool. So this episode is going to be all about Halloween Horror Nights, which ended on Saturday this week, and I am sad. I did not go the last night, actually. I said my goodbyes on Friday. I tried to get in on Saturday, but it was absolute gridlock. I didn't make Stand Scream, and I could not get in, basically. So instead of fighting traffic and getting super stressed out, I had already said my goodbyes to everything, and I just decided to go home. But Melissa went.
I did.
Yeah, so we'll do a wrap on that.
Definitely.
We're talking about Bill and Ted, which went away for the final time. We did get a chance to do the final annual pass holder show on Friday night, which was pretty good, and then they added some bonus things on top of that for the stream on
for the final night,
for the final night,
which were pretty much the same shows from what I was told.
So awesome. All right, cool. So you guys can hear us. Awesome. We're gonna do a sound check. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so we're good. So we've got pictures. Now, this episode was actually pretty easy for me to put together because I just took what we did in our Horror Nights preview and I tweaked it a little bit, and I added some of the pictures that we put on Instagram. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. We're on everything.
Everything.
We're on everything. So yeah, so if you notice here, I'm wearing my Stringoid beanie. This year, for the first time, there was not one thing as far as the Legendary Truth goes. Nothing. Absolutely nothing for Legendary Truth at all. There was a gas mask that was from the repository in the Insidious house. I'm sorry, the Blum house. But other than that, just not one whisper of Legendary Truth for the first time, so it might be over.
Actually, I did play the game once. I was the blue mask. What was the?
Oh my God, you were a Morphin?
I was a Morphin. Yes,
Savage.
I was a Morphin.
Yeah.
Even though I did like the Mishorians, though.
The Mascorians?
Mascorians.
Yeah, we're super dorks with this. I was like the #1 Stringoid when we invented it. So
I'm sure you were.
I know we were. I was back when I was that guy. Like
you
I was
that
literally
guy?
that guy. Like I was a complete jerk about it. All right, cool. So let's talk about some photos here. We're just gonna go through, talk about some of the houses that give some final thoughts, some final goodbyes to the houses, and I think the good stuff will be at the end when we get a chance to say goodbye to the shows. So let's get started. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
All
this.
right. All right. So we're going to use the same order that we used previously, where we're going to do a lap around the park starting. it's hard for me to rank houses, I guess. I know that there's one that's like my dead last house, but everything kind of fluctuated in there, so I didn't really put like a 1 through 9 together. So if you guys want to, chime in on the chat or say anything about a specific house, give us some feedback or any little tidbits, please do so. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's go to the first one, which is going to be American Horror Story. American Horror Story encompassed 3 seasons: the Asylum House, Roanoke, and what am I missing? Occult. No, not Occult. Coven. Yes.
The Witches.
Sorry.
Coven.
Witches. So 3 seasons. Huge house.
That was a good house. I enjoyed that house.
It was a good house. Now this is one that was on the tour that we did, the Unmasking the Horror tour. Really good house. I liked it. Shout out to Mel's. She was Kathy Bates' character. Can't handle her, Burkita, I guess. So we got to see her. She got to see us. That was pretty cool. Really good house.
Even though I haven't seen the seasons yet, but it was still pretty good.
Oh, I'm all caught up. I tend to make sure that I am abreast of these things.
Abreast.
Abreast.
Abreast?
Abreast.
I've never heard you say that before.
I'm trying to use new words. Abreast of the situation.
Just stick to solid.
No, I'm not going to say solid. So, yeah. So, good house. Set design amazing. Everything is really good. Pretty good scares. This one was, like, really busy all the time. And unless you did the Stay and Scream right there by Hello Kitty to get into this one, which I think was that American Horror Story?
Yeah, I think Hello Kitty was just mainly horror story.
Yeah, so people would line up for that. It did it a ton here. So it was good. It was good American Horror Story. We'll talk a little bit later about Halloween Horror Nights 28, maybe some speculation there. I think it's up in the air on whether they're going to bring back American Horror Story for next year. Might be due to the subject matter of this current season. It's kind of politically charged a little bit. So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
And also, normally, the house that's up front, like the very first house, is normally the busiest because that's where everybody goes in. So got a chance to do this one a ton. I'm pretty happy with it. Got to tour it. Can't really complain. I only missed 3 houses on the final night. It was Ash, American, and Shining. I didn't get a chance to do them.
Guess which house I missed on the final night?
Which one?
All of them, because I wasn't there.
No, I'm at your final night on Friday. Did you do all of them?
No. I did Blumhouse, and I did Scarecrow, and I did Ash, and I did Hive, and I think I did one more. Yeah. I was good. I had met my quota.
I had done all the houses on Friday, actually. I had done everything on Friday. So just in case I didn't get to them on the last night.
Awesome. All right, so moving on, American Horror Story, good job. Solid design.
You sure it was not an up-breast design?
It was, no, breast means you're staying
okay.
enlightened with something.
I didn't know that.
Do I need to break out a dictionary? You've never heard the word abreast before?
I've heard it. I've never heard you say it.
Not a breast, abreast.
That's what I said, abreast. Okay. I've never heard you say it.
I'm quite eloquent. All right, so we got The Shining. This next, Shining, based on the Stanley Kubrick movie. It's good.
It was good. Like I said before about it, it wasn't as scary, but it was visually beautiful to look at.
Yeah,
I loved the set designs and walking through it. It's like you were walking through the movie. They had all the iconic scenes in there. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, everything you could think of from The Shining was in there. You had the twins. You had the axe scene. You had Red Rum. You had all kinds. You know what I found out this last week? Red Rum, even though it's an amalgam of murder, it actually means Mr. Rude.
I found that out too. Yeah.
We like to learn things here at HauntScene. Hello everybody. Hello people watching. We appreciate you. All right, so Shining was good. Shining was good. Thank you for confirming that you can hear us. That's good. Hopefully we sound okay.
I hope so too.
Yeah. All right, so Shining was good. Classic house. This is kind of and even Horror Nights has said this on Twitter. They've kind of found the recipe that works. So I would imagine that they're going to continue the trend of having some sort of classic horror movie. American Werewolf in London, Shining, that kind of thing. So we're going to see this trend continue in the future. But I don't know what is up next. And I heard some rumors about Hellraiser, but I don't really know if Hellraiser is like a classic movie. I think it's more like contemporary. Didn't it come out in like the 80s, something like that?
I remember watching that. It frightened me.
Dying.
He's terrifying.
Sorry. So we'll get to our speculation a little bit later. Shining was really, really good.
No, I like The Shining though. That was a good house.
Yeah.
I was glad that it came this year. So.
I agree. Shining was really good.
I went through that house a lot. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, The Fallen. Good original house.
The Fallen. First original house. Third one on the left when you walk in. Angels versus demons. Light versus dark. Darkness winning. This house was evil, had all kinds of little Easter eggs in there. Design of the house. I will admit the attention to detail in this house was really, really good. Even the sconces, the candle holders. Yes, I use the word sconce.
What does that mean? Sconces.
Oh my God. Sconce. Look here. See the thing on the left that holds the candles?
I know those.
That's a sconce right there.
Okay.
There you go. See?
Gotcha.
I'm learning you up, but good.
You're teaching me some new words.
I'm teaching you how not to be a savage and use words like abreast
Okay.
and sconce. Word of the
Sounds
day.
savages.
Sconce. All right.
Very beautiful sets in Fallen. I thought they were
very beautiful.
Very nice.
Lights on, lights off, still holds up. Really, really good. Sometimes when you go through a house, when you turn the lights on, the design kind of falls apart. But this one, even with the lights on, like we did the backstage tour, was still really, really impressive.
I even like that long hallway with the lights on top. That was really cool.
Sconces?
Yes, exactly.
Use that word in a sentence.
Sconces.
All right. So Fallen was really, really good. The original houses were really good this year. Like
They were.
Like, holy
All
crap!
the originals
Really,
were great.
yes. Fallen was really good here. Now somebody, I believe, was talking to Shelby about this, and she said that Fallen and Festival of the Dead and the Afterlife show for Academy of Villains were all supposed to share like a recurring theme. Obviously, with what happened with the Academy of Villains show, they didn't get a chance to perform their Afterlife show. We'll talk about that later. And then I don't really think that Festival of the Deadliest turned out the way that it was. So I think they kind of took that theming, and I'm speculating, but this was a good house. Let's just leave it at that. All right, so Fallen was really good. Here's some other pictures here. Just amazing. Really good effects, really good scares. I think they got me a lot in this house, so that was really, really good. Next up was Dead Waters. Now, Dead Waters probably spent the first part of the event. I fell in love with this house right away. What did you think of Dead Waters?
Oh, Dead Waters is my favorite original house.
Yeah,
by far this year. I love Dead Waters.
I loved it. I love the design of it. I'm really into voodoo, but I think as I did Scarecrow more and more, it kind of chipped away at it. Scarecrow was the house of the year, actually. We'll get to that in a moment. But Dead Waters was so good. So good. Huge riverboat. Amazing set design. Really detailed. Lots of voodoo stuff if you're into that kind of thing. The aesthetic of...
I just fell in love with it as soon as I saw it.
It's just so good. And these lights, these pictures here don't really do it justice because you had to see this thing in show lighting. I mean, it was really impressive with that. This house was really disorienting going through it. Really disorienting because of the angles of the house, at least in the first part, because you were walking kind of on an angle up a wall. You can see this here on the left or right. I'm sorry. This is actually a picture that I took straight, but the floor is tilted a little bit. And then after you get through that, the angles go up and it looks like the ship is sinking and you're walking through it. So really good job. Really, really amazing. Between Dead Waters and Scarecrow, some of the best original houses that I've seen in a long time. So I'm hoping they keep that up here. Anything else to say about Dead Waters? I got a bunch of pictures. I loaded up on pictures this one. I love voodoo everything. I just love me some voodoo. Just lots of details.
I love Dead Waters. I remember one night we went in there by ourselves. It was just two of us. It was me and Tommy. And I was looking to my right, the guy that came he was breaking through the doorway. I looked at him, and as I turned left, was that Mark, the ghost Mark Twain, that comes out of the doorway, just standing right in front of my face, and scared the crap out of me. So that was one of the best scares.
They should have had Ghost Colonel Sanders.
Ghost Colonel Sanders, yeah.
With like a chicken. That'd be fun.
That was a really great scare, and I got some really good scares in that house that I
did
really
too.
enjoyed. So.
I would have to say that the original houses, even though I would say the set design and the scares were better in the original houses by far, to me personally. So that was good. I think I got more pictures. Yes, voodoo stuff, just all kinds of crazy voodoo stuff to take pictures of. As I said earlier, when we did our original Horror Nights episode, as our kind of like first impressions, I probably took more pictures in this house than I did anywhere else. It was so good. So good. I love voodoo stuff. And they had a voodoo house at House Scream, so I was in voodoo heaven this year. Voodoo, voodoo, voodoo. Next up, we go all the way to the back of the park, which was Blumhouse. And I have to say, our first impression of Blumhouse was, what do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It did end up being my very my favorite IP.
Really?
I did love Blumhouse. Yes, I did. I was a fan of all three movies: Sinister, Purge, and Insidious. At first, I was kind of disappointed because of the small Sinister room and the small Purge room, and it was 80% Insidious. Yes, right. I do know that. But
are you saying that it should have been a third, a third, a third?
I feel like it should have been equally like American Horror Story was. But I still really enjoyed this house. Like I went to it every time I went to the event, and I absolutely fell in love with Blumhouse.
I ended up in this house a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we did a lot of Stay and Scream at Simpsons back in Springfield. So I will say that Blumhouse was really good at the end. It really, as the event went on, all the characters really found their flow. The finale of Blumhouse probably was one of the scariest that they had this year.
I love the whole mashup at the end.
Yeah, like
of that was one of my favorite parts. Actually,
if you caught the right timing at the end, which I did probably maybe every other time, the way that they were staggered, because they had, and I mean, Hornets is over, so I guess I could spoil it. But they had all the different iconic characters from the different movies involved, and they would pop out of the little boo holes and stuff like that, and it would be like one after the other, after the other, after the other, and it was really effective at the end.
And there were times where I did get good timing with that, so I would get the first, I would get the second. So the first was Sinister, the girl up in Purge, the red-faced demon, and then at the end the other Insidious guy. So if you had good timing, you would get all of them at once. So I feel like these houses, it's all about getting good timing for you to enjoy them more. So
I mean, I think even Sinister, I know somebody that works behind the scenes in Sinister, and I think that they kind of realized that some stuff needed to get fixed. But Horror Nights is one thing. If you go early, you're running that risk of if you go early and don't go again, you're running the risk of not seeing everything to its full potential. Yeah. And I think Sinister really hit its stride about maybe 3 weeks ago. Like the last couple of weeks of the event, they really started.
And then when it finally got the projections up on the screen, because of Irma, it was damaged. Right. So it took them a while to get the projections up. Which, if you stopped and watched the projections, they're really cool. They're really cool. So
you're a jerk, Irma.
But yeah, Blumhouse, definitely my favorite IP, and Dead Waters is my favorite original.
Yeah. Oh.
So.
Somebody wants to see your face.
I really enjoyed the mashup of it, so I've really enjoyed this house.
Yeah, so really good. Really good. I love the little detailed part of Sinister. I just love the Easter eggs. Sinister, the first one's like super creepy, and they really got that element down. And I love the blood little splattered paintings on the walls. Those are really cool. So yeah. So Blumhouse, good job. Way to finish strong, Blumhouse.
I actually finished with Blumhouse as my final house on Saturday night. I did it twice in one night.
I don't remember what I finished with. I think I finished with Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Because we were already back there for the wristbands for Bill and Ted. Yeah. And I did it once, and then I did it at night. So I did it twice.
So I should have brought this up a moment ago, but if you look here in the top middle, that's the screen. So if you watch any Blumhouse films, they have like this little kind of sequence at the beginning. They had a projection on top of this that started probably a couple weeks into the event. Yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks into the event, and it kind of showed a bunch of stuff, like the logos of the different properties in there as well. I got to tour this house, took a lot of pictures. Really well designed house. You can kind of tell the middle part was supposed to originally be Ouija, I believe, and they turned it into the Purge. So they basically took the third of that should have been, I believe, Ouija, Origin of Evil. And they gave half of that to the Purge and the other half to Insidious. So Insidious, the Insidious part of it was like super long at the end, but it was good. It was good. Then we move on to Hive. Hive was an original house. really good. Once again, this one also built a little steam up as it went here. Hive is one of those houses that if you do it without your eyes adjusting, you might not see a lot. This one also got a lot better as the run went on. At first, it was okay, I guess. I think it's the common theory that this was originally supposed to be The Conjuring. And I wanted to do a side-by-side view because there's a part in The Conjuring where there's this huge chest of drawers or this huge closet, and the Bathsheba is on top of it, jumping out at one of the characters here, and that is totally in this house here. And I didn't do I have pictures, I just didn't put them together.
I liked Hive. I'm a big fan of vampires.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love this house.
Yeah, it got really good. It really got good. It got a lot better. It got a lot better. I think Nosferatu vampires. I guess I'm assuming not everybody that went or is watching right now went to Horror Nights. So really scary vampires. Really got their timing down at the end. Very, very scary. Really good house here. I like that UV reactive eyes. I thought that was really cool.
That was really cool. Like the one where you go around in the room, the one that comes out on the right had green glowing eyes. That was awesome.
I think that's something they should use in the future. I'm all about the UV reactive stuff, I'm still not ready to bring back 3D, by the way. Let's not do that. I don't even want to say it too loud. I'm afraid somebody's going to hear me. Yeah. All right, so what we got here? So moving on a little bit. Hive, here's a couple other pictures here. Like I said, it's not 100% confirmed that this was Conjuring, but maybe it was, I guess. But for what it was, the house totally had its own identity. It wasn't something that was just slapped together at the end like Purge was a couple years ago, where they just made Scream the Purge. But yeah, it was really, really good. Really, and this is like evil vampires, not pretty vampires, not sparkling vampires. Yep. Scarecrow, the Weeping. I'm weeping because it was so sad.
I loved the sound of the ripping.
Oh,
and there,
so
I
good.
loved that sound every time I went through.
I love burlap. I'm literally going, when I have put my fence up in my yard, I'm putting a scarecrow in my backyard just because I'm so in love with scarecrows and burlap and everything. Sound design in this house was amazing. This one house of the year actually was very impressive, super scary.
Scarecrow was great.
Lots of great scarecrows. Not all the same type of scarecrow. Like there was all kinds of different scarecrows in there, so that was pretty cool. Love the outside. Love the cornfield they put together in front of the house. Here's Shelby Denham here on the left with the cast and crew shirt that she did for them. The house shirt.
That was an amazing shirt that she did.
Very good shirt. I can't say enough about Scarecrow. It was so good, so good. Yep. All right, so. Can't really say enough about Scarecrow. The only thing I'm bummed about Scarecrow is now we're not going to get a Scarecrow house for a long time. So maybe at some point, I think this was so beloved that hopefully at some point we can get a sequel to this in like 5 years, 10 years. We actually had a conversation at Horror Nights the other night about how long is it appropriate, or how long is the appropriate amount of time to wait to bring back a house for a sequel. So yeah, we might talk about that a little bit later. All right, so Scarecrow was really good. Favorite house this year, neck and neck with Dead Waters, just neck and neck. I went back and forth a little bit, but ultimately Scarecrow won out.
I like both, but everybody was for Scarecrow, and I'm like, I'll go with Dead Waters. I'll give Dead Waters some
really?
Light. Everybody was for Dead
I'm
Waters.
a bandwagon Hunt fan? Everybody likes it, so I can't like it. Well, there's a reason why everybody likes it.
It was so good, yes.
So if everybody liked Saw, would you like Saw? I'm just kidding.
Saw.
No, okay, all right. So yeah, Scarecrow Reaping was amazing. Then we come to Ash vs. Evil Dead. I have no pictures of this. This is evil little Ashy Slashy puppet that I am obsessed with. This is not even a picture of that. This is a picture that I found online. Ash vs. Evil Dead. Okay, let's talk about a missed opportunity here with Ash vs. Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell was in town. Bruce Campbell was in town doing a book signing.
Yeah, he was at the Fashion Square Mall.
Yeah, that's like 20 minutes away from Halloween Horror Nights.
From where I live. That's the most action that mall's ever seen.
So how did Horror Nights or Universal not back up a dump truck of money to get Bruce Campbell to appear in the house or something, or do something? I don't know if Bruce Campbell cares. I love you, Bruce Campbell, but I don't know if he really gave a poop about this, but yeah, that was a missed opportunity. I mean, I've seen Penn and Teller in the house before. That was pretty cool. It would have been nice to see him at some point. You know, maybe have some security there so you're ushering people around. But maybe I think it would have been really cool. They had a scene at the end with Ash, and he's like in Jacksonville, and he's opening up a keg of beer with his chainsaw hand. That would have been really cool to actually see Bruce Campbell just kind of pantomime that for a couple hours. But missed opportunity.
You know, I actually enjoyed Ash vs. Evil Dead. I didn't like it at first. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it. I didn't understand it because I've never watched the episodes.
See, I'm caught up on it.
So, I liked it though. It was, you know, it was good. It was, what do you call it? It was good humor. Dark humor. It was a dark humor house. It was a comedy house.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And there were parts in the house that I really liked. I thought they were funny. So...
Yeah, we need to do, like, you know, at some point in the off season, I'm going to write out, like, a recipe for Horror Night success. And it's going to be, like, the current hot horror TV show, the classic horror movie, the dark humor house, like Ash vs. Evil Dead or Krampus or something like that. The movie that's new, Saw, and then something else. So, yeah, there is a recipe for success. And I don't want to say that Horror Nights is on autopilot, but they might be on autopilot. So... they know what works. They know what packs the house. They just open up the floodgates to UCF. Apparently.
I ended up liking it. I did it more than I thought I would actually. So because it was a fun house. Yeah, I think the more I did it, the more I liked it. So
yeah, it was just you know, it's just one of those. You know, the walk was a little crazy. The walk, you know, it didn't. The walk. The way the queue was, it was like one big, long, huge walk. I mean, it's the same distance to obviously all the houses that we've done there previously, but just the way the queue was set up, it felt like forever. So, might want to. I don't think that house will be there next year. I think the parade building's going. That's what somebody said. So
I even got an Ash vs. Evil Dead and a Saw shirt at the very last night. They were on sale.
Oh, so hey John, did you get your Ash vs. Evil Dead?
Well, the Saw shirt was like $6.99, and the Ash was like $17.99.
Awesome,
John.
That was good.
I appreciate you, John.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. So Ash vs. Evil Dead was good. There weren't any like bad houses this year. Well, I say that. So,
hey,
all right. Saw. Look.
It wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it.
Something was missing in the Saw house. Like, I don't think the person that designed the Saw house was really in love with Saw. Like, I think it was just somebody, and I'm not calling anybody out, and I don't want anybody to take offense to this, but you know, there's a difference between getting somebody that's passionate about like an IP or a property and having them do the house, like American Werewolf in London or something like that, or somebody just putting together it felt very generic Saw house for me. And I have vague memories of the Saw house from 2009.
Well, yeah, see, I didn't go that year to see it, so I have nothing to compare it to. Yeah. So it was just brand new to me this year.
And it was okay. I think I realized that I think the lighting was off. If you go back and watch the Saw movies, they're all really kind of I don't know, like bled out, like I don't know how to describe it, like kind of drab. Yeah, so the first one's like got that drab light because they're in that bathroom. The second one's got kind of like an orangish hue to it, and I think the lighting could have added a lot to Saw. Scares were good. I like the fact that they had a bunch of buttons to push.
Yep.
You know, some of the houses every year have like what's called a guest activated trigger or a GAT. You hit it and something happens.
Or like a rope in Too Many Agents.
A rope, you pull it down, something gong goes off or whatever. It was good. I didn't have anything to connect me to this house, so this is my dead last one. I probably did Saw the least out of all of them. No, I didn't feel the need to do it a bunch. I mean, I probably did everything else. I know I did at least in double digits. This one I probably did in single digits, just because I just wasn't in love with it. So I think that's the last we're gonna see a Saw for a while. No more Seesaw. Saw. Goodbye, Saw. All right, so that's a wrap for the houses that were at Halloween Horror Nights this year. Let me know what you guys think. We got some people chiming in on the chat. We do appreciate your opinions.
We appreciate you.
And we do appreciate you. And let's move on to The Scare Zone.
Festival of the Deadliest.
Festival of the Deadliest. Festival of the Deadliest.
That was a good zone.
It was good.
I had fun in that zone. I had some really good interactions.
Part of Festival of the Deadliest, I think, got hurt itself because as a follow-up to a very loved Scare Zone, Vamp 55, I don't really know what they could have put here to make this super successful. Like, they could have done a Scare Zone, like, everybody walk through it and we're going to hand you $1,000, and it still wouldn't have been good enough.
Yeah. Vamp 55 was by far my
Vamp 55
favorite Scare Zone ever from last year.
Definitely my favorite Scare Zone here.
Scare Zone I've ever seen.
In this spot.
But Festival, Festival was good too. I enjoyed Festival. I enjoyed seeing Bone and the Festival characters. And,
yeah, I think this one could have gotten a little juice if they would have just decided that Bone was the icon. If you look here in the middle, there is a character, a Stillwalker, that's this very large, I don't know, he's about like 10 feet tall, bone-looking dude. And this one made me realize that I think Horror Nights is always better off with an icon, something you can tie the theme to, because there was that long period of time, it felt like a long period of time after 21 when they had Lady Luck, who wasn't the best icon, but was still, you could equate that year to that. It's kind of weird when you have a conversation with somebody about Horror Nights and you're like, oh yeah, the 25th anniversary year or the Jack year or the Chance year, then somebody immediately knows what you're talking about. When it comes to like 22, 23, and 24, I have to really think about what house was there every year.
Same, me too.
Because there's nothing to equate it to.
I was thinking about that the other day. I couldn't really remember it.
Yeah, thankfully I've got all the maps, so I can go back and look at them. Yep. All right, so Festival of the Deadliest went by many names to us this year. We had a couple pet names for this. We'll talk about bringing that up in the next episode. Remember,
that might be in the drunken episode.
Yeah, I will have no filter next week, so be careful. So Festival of the Deadliest. Something was missing here. I don't know what it was. Some little something was missing from this to really push this over the threshold of being awesome. Then
Invasion.
We're going to skip around a little bit. Invasion was really cool.
Such a fun zone.
Yeah, it was a fun zone. It wasn't like a super scary zone. Very, very. This zone actually evolved a lot from the first weekend to the final weekend. Great. I liked it when the characters could interact with you and they were like curious aliens or whatever. And then it became more of like a war zone and more like, violent or whatever. I think that Horror Nights could use, everything doesn't have to be super scary. That's you can have a fun zone, So Invasion was really cool. Comedy, yeah, dark comedy. Invasion was kind of a callback to the Creature's House, which was, I think, 2008, I believe.
Did you go through that one?
I do. I remember that.
Did you? How was it?
It was in the Twister queue, I think.
In the soundstage?
Yeah, I don't remember the specifics of it. Everything from 2008 is a blur.
What do the creatures look like? Kind of like
they were like tentacle monsters. They were like huge tentacle monsters. I don't know. Something happened with that house when it was being created. I originally think that was supposed to be their first stab at American Werewolf in London, and that fell through or something like that. Sometimes I don't really know how the whole process works. Like, hey, we're going to make a house, or we plan on doing X, and then the studio comes back and says, no, you can't do X, or something like that. And I don't know I don't know how it works. So yeah, I could be wrong as well.
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat was really good. Best pictures ever. Trick or Treat is probably the best place to take photos. I mean, these characters were spot on from the movie.
Yep.
Sam was perfect. This is like, I think when they were describing this, they called it a fever dream of the movie. If you've ever seen Trick or Treat.
Won Scare Zone of the Year, too.
Yeah, it was so good. Just gorgeous. Just, if you love
even
Halloween.
Even at night, it's so pretty.
Yeah, even during the day.
Yeah.
It was just pumpkins everywhere in the trees. I'm pretty sure it's still up.
No, the pumpkins were all gone. Just the doorways were there. Just the trick or treat
How can you take the pumpkins away and leave the doors up?
That's what I thought too.
All right, never mind. Halloween's over. By the way, when Horror Nights is over, Universal's like, get it out.
Normally, overnight, it's gone by the next day.
Yeah.
Normally.
They just throw it all in a pile and bring the flamethrower through.
And Doors from Trick or Treat was still there. Invasion was still there.
You
and
went
Altars.
to Universal today?
I was there earlier, yeah.
You are savage.
We were there for something that it fell through. So we ended up leaving after that. Yeah.
Why would you go? That hurts.
But
I can't go to Universal until like Mardi Gras. There's just no way. It hurts too much.
What about Christmas stuff? Christmas.
Yeah, but that's at the other park.
But they do it in studios and
don't care.
Highway. Huh?
Don't care.
Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go with me to the Christmas stuff. I did. Christmas.
I think I did the Macy's.
It's fun.
Right? I don't remember. All right, so Trick or Treat was really, really good. Got some great pictures here. This was like Instagram Central, so that's good. Purge.
The Purge.
The Purge. Is this?
Those are the ones I took.
Huh. It's almost like I used those. Who's this on the left?
I believe that is Sarah.
Yay! All right, so a friend of Melissa's, not a friend of the show because I've only met her like twice, but that's one of Melissa's friends here on the left.
That is, yes, that's Sarah playing Lady Liberty.
Yep. Great scare zone. If you love The Purge, they will be The Purge. You know, The Purge is coming out with a new movie this July.
Yes, the very beginning.
We may very well see another Purge house next year.
I wouldn't mind because I'm an absolute huge fan of The Purge.
2 scare zones and 3 houses in the span of 4 years, 3 years.
The first one we saw was 2014.
Okay, so that was 14, 15, 16. So it's 4 years, and then we've had 3 Purge things.
Which I don't mind. I love The Purge. I love The Purge. So I was really excited to see.
They got plenty of props.
So
it is a possibility. The Purge movie that's coming out in July is actually a prequel, and so we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens with that.
I'm so excited. I'm definitely gonna go see it.
Hello. We are vaguely monitoring the Facebook Live. Remember, if you want to get the full experience here and see all the photos, switch over to the live.HauntScene.com. But Purge, great. Good scare zone if you like
it's
the
awesome.
Purge. They have the auctioneer, everything.
Yep.
They just once again went with what worked here.
Altars of Horror.
Altars of Horror. Now, keep in mind there were a couple. There was the clown sauce, the clowns with the chainsaws back by the Springfield area. Once again, that's part of the winning formula. Put claws and put chainsaws in some.
Which they said the clowns was a roaming horde, but it stayed in Simpsons. It wasn't really a roaming horde. So I counted it as another scare zone. So it was basically like 6 scare zones instead of 5.
Yeah.
So it was its own scare zone. Yeah. And the clowns were fun. Yeah. There was always that one clown that just went in my face and said bananas.
Well, we knew some of the
chainsaw noises.
I guess seeing the same thing over and over again. And I don't want to be somebody we know that's like, get off my lawn, but it's just, let's find something. I mean, we had geishas with chainsaws. We had, what did we have else in that area? We had,
which they didn't have anyone in that area by the Starbucks like they did last year.
Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, I'm not hating on it. It's just you know. Oh yeah, Altars of Horror. Oh, sorry, we got distracted there. Altars of Horror. I will admit, I was completely wrong about this. I was completely wrong about Altars of Horror. I originally thought that this was a good idea. I thought that this would be a good photo op if you wanted to get pictures of some of the iconic characters from some of the movies and some of the houses. I thought they'd have like little platforms or little scenes to interact with, kind of like they did Chance last year.
It was weird because they did have a little platform set up by The Shining for the twins, but I never saw them on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was a pretty good spot to get some photos here. It wasn't scary. It was just like, I'm walking through a zone and there are random horror people here that have to stay within a certain radius of their designated area. Like, it was just, I don't know. I originally thought that this could be a positive thing, but it really didn't do much for me. I found myself, not on purpose, but I think I found myself gravitating towards exiting through Festival of the Deadliest instead of walking through Altars of Horror. I mean, nothing really changed with this throughout the whole event. So yeah, it was. We can do better. What was it last year? It was Chance last year. That's right. So, Okay. I mean, I got this really good picture of the bride.
That is a really nice picture.
Like the costumes were good. The way, you know, they had the Purge person. They had a couple people from Ash vs. Evil Dead. They had the twins from The Shining. They had Mr. Bloodyface. They had the voodoo guy from American Horror Story. They had a couple characters from, they had the bride from Insidious. I mean, they had a little bit of the ingredients to do something really cool, and it just kind of fell through for me. So, let's do better. Let's do better. All right, so moving on here, and this is kind of going to be the sad part of the show. Let's start talking about the two shows that went along with Horror Nights this year, Academy of Villains.
Academy of Villains rocks as always.
I can't say enough about this. Got to meet a couple people, got to meet the head guy that runs it, Farside. As I said earlier, got some great pictures. Our friend Steph is like an amazing photographer. Nolan, all you guys, you really take great pictures here. I love the cast. Everything was interesting. I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is probably the most engaging piece of entertainment I've ever experienced this year. Every time you watch the show, it was something different. Like I would always focus on something else, some little interaction with the characters. It's not just a dance show. It's got all kinds of stuff. It's got acrobatics and painting and the Victory Yellow guy and the like turning his arm around and stuff like that. It's crazy. Audience participation, dance battles. This was not the original plan for this show. They were supposed to be on the full stage by Mel's in the horror makeup show. But once again,
I thought they did a great job of putting it together, though, even after their show
for unfortunately, the show that they wanted to do didn't happen, Afterlife. When I was talking to Farside, the joke was, I was like, you might as well just bring Afterlife back next year and just do Afterlife.
Afterlife.
Yeah, why not? Because, you know, we didn't get to see the show that they wanted to put on anyway, so...
What did he say about that?
Bring it back. He laughed. Yeah. He laughed at my joke. Maybe he had heard that before. Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be a crime, and I mean an absolute crime, if Horror Nights does not bring back Academy of Villains next year. Well, we're not there yet. Academy of Villains was amazing, and if you're going to take away Bill and Ted, leave us Academy of Villains. If they take away... Here's my worst nightmare about Horror Nights 28 next year is they're going to take away Bill and Ted,
and they're not going to have
Academy of Villains, and they're going to be like, we're going to do Rocky Horror Picture Show or some like that, or some random magician or mentalist or something like that. It's just going to be like
Joshua Seth.
Wow, there's some venom.
I'm sorry,
in your voice
I did not like that show. I'm sorry.
He was a nice guy.
He wasn't.
Only watched like 5 minutes of it.
Exactly. That's all I need.
Wow.
I'm sorry, he was a nice guy, but I was not feeling that show, Johnny.
All right, fair enough. But Academy of Villains, just amazing. My favorite thing at Horror Nights for the second year in a row. When Horror Nights started this year, and I believe I said this on the show earlier, but I'm going to reiterate it. Horror Nights started the weekend after Irma, and many people were still out of power, including me. I was without power for a week. And even though I looked forward to Horror Nights every year, this is the thing. This is my New Year's. Like the year just ended because Horror Nights just is what begins and ends my year, like it does for a lot of people. And I was at Horror Nights, and I was still, you know, just over it because didn't have any power for like a week straight. It was not fun. Eric and Chad got Amish Descent, was destroyed by Irma. It was just a rough week, like the roughest week. And it didn't really set in that I was back at Horror Nights until I saw like their first little show that they had when I think his name's Jose, when he came out with like the Irma sign, and he did like this little sign spinning thingy. That's really what kind of like woke me up and like, holy crap, I'm at Horror Nights, yay, Academy of Villains. And just like every other year, I fell in love with it. It is the most amazing, violent, variety of amazingness ever. Great characters. Just watching the little characters interact with each other, it was really, really good. It was too much. It was literally too much to take in at once. Like every time I watch the show, I noticed something different, a way a character moved or something like that. Like I said, probably the most engaging piece of entertainment I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Live entertainment. Like I was just enthralled every time I saw this. So
I agree.
It was so good. It was just so good.
Academy of Villains is really good, and they're all really nice people. They're all really cool, down to earth people.
Yeah, very humble. Everybody you meet from them, they're super nice. The more you meet people, I mean, we met Deeks, the painter guy from Academy of Villains. And when you meet people that are super humble about what they do and appreciative of their fans and what their opportunities that they've been given, you can't help but even be bigger fans of them. So I'm hoping that continues. So thank you. I don't know if you're going to be watching this, but we love you, Academy of Villains.
We love you. Thank
you so much. Please come back. If you don't come back,
come back next year.
I will go to wherever you are.
I will go to there.
We had a conversation afterward with Farside. I don't know if I mentioned this in the show, but we had a joke where, well, what if like Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood wants to sign them?
No.
We would have to go to California and kidnap them back. They're like, all right, here you go. Academy of Villains is in Horror Nights Hollywood in Orlando. You get Jabberwockies.
No, they can keep Jabberwockies. I'd rather have Academy of Villains.
So next year, Jabberwockies and Joshua Seth.
No, do not wish that upon us. Stop.
and they're bringing back The Walking Dead again. Awesome. It's just that's what we should do. We should do like the worst Horror Nights ever. That's what we'll do. We'll put it together.
Stop.
I know it's savage.
You're savage.
Love you, Academy Villains. And then finally, we got 14 minutes left. Let's talk about
Bill and Ted.
Why must you do this to us, Universal? Why do you hate us? We did have a conversation that Universal marketing is it's a very abusive relationship that we have with them, because
that picture.
I know you did, because it's really
picture.
good. It is really good.
Really good
you aren't doing the thing though.
I am not. I'm the only one that's I should have done that.
Savage.
I didn't catch that. Savage.
Yeah, so I got to see the pass holder version of this, which was at like 1:30 in the morning. It was crazy.
Yep.
Really good. They added a bunch of extra stuff in there. Had a special show for pass holders. We got wristbands. Thank you, Matt Korn, for that. That was really, really good. And then Melissa got to see the last show.
I got to see the final show,
which had some things in there that we didn't get to see at the pass holder show. So.
They added in a lot more compared to the AP show.
So just give me an overview.
Okay, so
what was different?
They had Betty White come out.
What?
They had Betty White when they said
Betty White?
No.
Oh.
There was a person who played her.
Okay.
When they said Betty White would be signing autographs at the South Lawn in 5 minutes, they had Betty White come out on stage. Everybody lost it.
Did the Reaper kill her?
No, she ran in back, and the Reaper says, "Ooh, Betty White, I want to say hello." And then Bill goes, "Bill, but you promised. I'm just saying hello." And then he went in the back, and he goes to her, "Wait, I just want to thank you for being a friend," and then ran in the back. It was great.
Golden Girls reference, hilarious.
Yes. So they had Betty White. They had Rufus at the very end of the show come and take Bill and Ted back to 1991 San Dimas, which actually made me cry at the end. That was very sad.
It was very sad
when he came on stage and took him back. So
they
had at the very last dance sequence, they had all the dancers dressed as half was Bill and the other was Ted. So they were all dressed as Bill and Ted.
Cool.
And before, when it was done, they came up on stage and they each give Bill and Ted a hug.
Aww.
So
did they have what's her face do the Frozen song?
Yes. After the Moana part, they had Elsa come back on stage, and Elsa did her song from 2014.
Do you want to eat a snow cone?
And she did her snow cone song, which I thought was great. Everybody lost it when she came out.
That's cool. Did they no Papa dying though?
They did do Papa dying. They had Rocket Raccoon. They had Papa dying.
What?
At the very end, when you heard the explosion, he goes, "Oh, Papa dying, y'all." And he just leans over. And they had Sharon in her Wookiee mask come out. And Death goes, "How many characters do you play?" And she goes, "So many."
Wow, and, I guess I missed out.
Yep.
I should have spent 8 hours in line waiting for a Horror Nights pass to see the final Bill and Ted.
It was, I got to Universal at 12:30, and there were already a bunch of people in line.
There were probably people there at Rope Drop.
And we were lined up, and then they kind of moved us somewhere else. Because we were it looks like we were crowding a pathway. So they literally moved us like 7 times until we finally got to the Moe's area. And we waited a total of 7 hours in line to get a wristband for the 12:30 show.
That is cray.
So basically, if you weren't in Stay and Scream, then you weren't getting the final show.
You are dedicated.
So,
well, was it worth it?
It was definitely worth it. I I'm a huge fan of Bill and Ted. I've seen it for the last 6 years, since 2012. So I see it every year, and I'm definitely going to miss it a lot. And I was definitely dedicated to seeing the final show. I was definitely going to see it and say my goodbyes. So, I mean, to PJ and Jason and the cast and crew of Bill and Ted, I love you guys, and I'll miss you a lot.
Aww.
So
I will miss them as well.
I will miss them.
Ziggy Piggy. Ziggy. I didn't notice this, but they changed. They had like a little food truck as part of the set, and
they change it ever so often.
They changed it. So Ziggy Piggy, which is a shout out to Napoleon in the first Bill and Ted movie, which is really really cool. So Bill and Ted was excellent. It was a good send off for them. Good luck replacing this. That's what I gotta say. Like, whatever you do, it's not going to be good enough.
I feel like HHN will never feel the same.
Oh no!
At least to me, it won't feel the same without it, because I was just so used to having it there and going to it every year. You know, so
was this really the year to get rid of it?
You know, but I'm gonna miss it. But it was a good send off for them. So
good. Well, I'm glad that it was happy.
It was honestly the greatest last show I've ever seen.
Next week, if I can get the lyrics, we're gonna do a musical number next week.
Please, can we do the Moana song?
Yeah, we're gonna do the Moana song next week on the air. I'm gonna find the lyrics. I'll write the lyrics.
Can we do that when we're drunk? Because that's gonna be awesome.
That's why we're gonna be doing it. Yep. So we want you guys to tune in next week for the drunk edition, which we'll talk about here in a second because we're about to wrap up. But yeah. So just real quick, let's talk a little bit about Horror Nights 28. What?
It's Mel's. It's my place.
Yeah, Mel's place.
Mel's place.
So just a couple little bit of quick speculation here. Obviously, none of this is in any way, shape, or form confirmed or anything like that. This is kind of like a wish list, I guess. So we have no idea if this is possible, if they're going to bring this stuff in or not. Just some things that are logically make sense or I'd like to see. So let's do this. So Academy of Villains, hopefully they get an opportunity to do their full show or bring another show to Orlando. I actually, even though I love Bill and Ted, I almost can't think of Horror Nights without Academy of Villains now, which is a very sad thought.
Me neither. I can't either.
I don't know how long Horror Nights is going to keep bringing back Academy of Villains, so we'll see. Hopefully they bring it back every year forever. We'll have like a 90-year-old Farside, and like what's his face is going to like do this hand thing and like throw his hip out
Farside
or whatever.
and Phoenix.
Yeah, those
I met those two one night. They're really cool.
Yeah, very nice.
So
hopefully they bring back Academy of Villains. Logically, it would make sense if they brought back American Horror Story for this year, although
I don't know how much they'd be able to do with it because it's political.
Yeah, it's
they
political,
might have to cut the political
but if they
out.
keep it cult-based and just focus on like the clowns and the messed up stuff.
I think it would be cool to see the clowns and the house scenes in there, though.
I mean, the weird thing is about American Horror Story cult is it starts off kind of like with the political kind of thing, but as the season goes on, it's less and less of that. So I think they could make it work for a house. It wouldn't be one of those like gargantuan like 3-season houses, but if they want to bring it back, if this is like their series, their franchise that they want to bring back year over year. But another thing I think about American Horror Story Cult is by the time they would bring that back next year, the next American Horror Story would be starting if they're going to be doing another one. So I don't.
Which is the next season, American Horror Story?
Yeah.
No, what is the next season?
Oh, I have no idea. We don't know the theme yet. They always mess with us with that. But I don't know if they want to wait that late. That's another thing about like The Purge, the island that's coming out. Sometimes you can look at like the horror slate of movies and think that, here are some logical fits for Horror Nights. As long as they come out before the event start, as they found out with the Dracula house a couple years ago. You want to make sure that these are established and out before you commit a house to them. So these are two likely candidates, I guess. If I had to pick two, if I had to put money on it, I would say these are two likely things to return.
Put
all right.
Down.
I don't know if they would bring back. I mean, I know this is our first year without Walking Dead, but I mean, maybe there's the possibility of bringing back Walking Dead again. We're starting to get kind of to that point of where next year's 28 and then there's 29 and then there's 30, and I'm assuming they're going to do a 30th anniversary type thing and hopefully have like Jack or something there. I hope that they bring back some sort of icon next year. Bring back an icon. FFS.
I like the icons.
Yeah, bring back icons. I know it's going to be hard, but give the fans something that they want. I know it's crazy. Moving on here. Here's my personal wish list of things. I would love, there are 2 original houses that I really fell in love with that I would love to see a sequel, and I think it's time.
I love Nightingales.
So Nightingales was a house from 21 that I absolutely fell in love with, and it's been 6 years. Nightingales was a World War I trenches house where you're being attacked by banshees. It was probably my favorite overall original house that they ever did. Sauce and Steam was a really cool house. This was one of the last ones, or was the last one in the Jaws queue. I could be wrong there, but that was really good. I love the aesthetic of that. It's been a street, and then it's been a house. Maybe bring back something there. I just put little 2s there just to think about it. So those are 2 originals that I would like to see bring back here. Maybe they will save one of these for the 30th year. I have no idea what next year is going to be like at Horror Nights.
Me neither.
I literally have, like, sometimes you get a feeling of like, all right, well, maybe this theme is going to carry over a little bit to next year, and you just kind of go from year to year. This is probably the first time where I'm staring at Horror Nights, the next Horror Nights, in the face, and I have no idea what it's going to be like. It feels more unknown than it typically does. The consensus, and I know a lot of people are saying this, and a lot of people are also naysaying it, is Stranger Things. They could definitely do a house with that. The Stranger Things screams set design with the upside down world and all that. It's a huge property right now. This could definitely fit in a house. I'd love to see Stranger Things, but once again, it's one of those things is, can they work it out with Netflix? Can they get the rights to do a Stranger Things house? I have a feeling that this would transcend anything they've ever done. Walking Dead, American Horror Story. This would be like the 2-hour wait house every night.
Definitely. Yeah. That would be awesome. I would go to that house every night.
Yeah. Stranger Things would be done well. Could probably be one of the most amazing houses ever. Also, It. I mean, how can you not have It at the thing next year? Plus, they're doing another It movie. So the house would be perfect in between doing it next year at 28 and doing the follow-up movie. I think will be out in the time for 29. You know, a lot of people said this. I've read a lot on Twitter. I've read it a lot on social media. I've also read a lot of naysaying, like, it's Warner Brothers, we can't work it. Look, I have the solution. I've got the solution to bring it to Horror Nights. It's called right here. It's called Back Up a Dump Truck of Money. And I meant to download a picture of a dump truck filled with money and back the dump truck up to Warner Brothers and say, yo, we really want to do an It house, because watching it was like living in a house. Like, it was like the living in one of the Horror Nights houses, because that could have been, it could be legendary. So I know you can naysay all you want. Once again, no speculation. This is my wish list. Out of all of these things, if I'm gonna, the most likely thing is Academy of Villains to come back. Yeah. But here are some of my my things here.
But other than that, I mean, we really don't know what's coming for us.
Yeah, I have no idea. No idea at all what's coming up here next. All right, next week on HauntScene Live, I spelled HauntScene wrong. Wow, that's hilarious. Johnny, that's perfect for that. Next week on HauntScene Live. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I did not mean to do that. On purpose? I did not, but apparently we're already experiencing the drunk edition because I can't spell HauntScene Live. So this Friday at 8 o'clock, there will be the season finale of HauntScene Live. So if you'd like to join us, this will be a no holds bar episode of Intoxication. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We may have some, hopefully, maybe have some people here do like a little mini send off party, and that is it for our season. Episode 10, we're done. So expect a rated M for mature episode. There might be violence and nudity.
Adult audiences only.
There will be alcohol. We're gonna have some sort of what?
What did you say?
Nudity?
Did you say adult nudity?
We're gonna have nudity. We'll just have black boxes. So
I can't stop staring at your black box.
Yeah. So there is a possibility that this one could get a little out of control. We might be saying some things that we regret, but it's time for the season to be over, and it will be on YouTube forever. We didn't have one last year, but we did have a drunk edition in season 1 that was really fun. So if you guys can think of some sort of drinking game for HauntScene Live next week, HauntScene Live, that would be great. All right, so we actually went a little bit over, so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. But definitely tune in at 8 o'clock on Friday. And we will do our drunk edition, and you get to see the Haunt Ginger get trashed. I get to see you get trashed for the first time.
I know.
I've never seen you drink.
It's not a usual sight for me.
I don't think you've ever seen me drink either.
I don't think so, no.
Awesome. Okay, this is going to be great. Okay, cool. All right, so until next time, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll put you in all the collages.
Johnny, stop.
All right. We love you. Goodbye. Until next time, spook easy.
Happy haunting.
All right, bye.
Saying we're haunted, and it's fear I see in your eyes. They're all saying we're haunted, near where the spirits rise. They're all saying we're haunted, here in the candlelight, now singing.